so as we get into like, where are we now today? Where are we going? What has God called Shepherd Church to be? What does your heart beat for when you think about people that come and join this story? Whether it's people who have walked with God for a long, long time, people who maybe feel distant from Him, or people who don't know Him yet. How do you see and hope for others to get folded into the story of Shepherd Church?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the heartbeat, especially even thinking about how did we come up with the name Shepherd Church. And, even that was like, that is not an easy journey. It's like naming a kid.
I don't even know that I know this story.
There's so many names, as you're praying through and thinking through that. And I think, that we had quite a few different names, but what just really kept coming back to Don and I, and anyway, there's also another story maybe offline we can share with us too. That was really cool. But, just this idea of, Jesus being our good shepherd. And, when you think about like that shepherd of just caring for you, guiding you, loving you, even just, as they have that staff, there's protecting you. There's even some prodding, like, okay, I want to nudge you to continue to take steps forward. And I just love that idea that, from the very beginning, that Jesus, as the Good Shepherd, is the leader of this church, and that we are following Him. And so, what I want people to really experience with Shepherd Church is that they know without a doubt, like, Jesus is who we are looking to. Like, He is the leader, and we're following Him, and really, like, learning too, just listening to Him and the Holy Spirit. That's who we're chasing after. And so when people come in, man, I want them to experience, this incredible shepherd that we have that really meets us no matter where we're at. If we've been following, God for a long time, like, the shepherd wants to meet us, and maybe there's areas too that, hey, you're kind of drifting towards being righteous and judgmental, and you need to come back and understand, like, who Jesus and how He treats people and how He loves people, and doesn't show favorites, and maybe there's people that have just gotten complacent, and there's just like this encouragement and this loving, gentle nudge. Just there's so much more that God has for you, that He wants you to experience, and this purpose within us. And for those that are going to come in that maybe are hurt by the church, maybe have experienced some painful seasons, and I want them to be able to experience that you could come into Shepherd and be cared for and be loved, and that we all go through a journey. And they're all seasons. Yeah. Like, we have seasons. That's what I think. Sometimes it's easy to feel like, man, I got to do this for God, or I feel guilty if I'm not. And I think God's way more gracious with us and pastoral, and there are seasons. And so if there's a season, I want people to experience that. Maybe I could come in and I'm in a season where I just need to be cared for and shepherded and guided, and maybe I'm experiencing loneliness and I feel isolated, that this can be, a season where you really experience the God of the universe that cares for you. Yeah. Wants you to experience His peace, but also, like, to take steps forward of real, authentic relationships and friendships and community. And sometimes if we've had bad experiences, that can be a challenge to, like, re-enter that. And maybe it's just taking that step towards that, because it's really what God has designed and wants for us to experience. Yeah. And then I think, too, for people that maybe are going to come in through the doors of Shepherd and they have no idea what this is all about, I want them to feel cared for, to be seen and valued, and that they can come in, and this can be a place where they can ask questions and feel safe to do that, to explore what this is all about, because we don't have to have it all figured out right away.
Thank goodness.
Right? And I think that's sometimes what we feel, or even culture. And life moves busy and it's distracting. And I also want Shepherd to feel like this is a place I could breathe, I could take a breath.
Yeah.
I could, maybe slow down for a minute and just realize, oh wow, actually God is speaking this into me. Identity and purpose and love and care. And I can start to maybe look at my world and what actually is most important, and prioritize some of those things and start to move forward in the path of like, oh, now I'm starting to hear what God has for me and my journey. And I want to experience that in community. And so I'm dreaming and envisioning those things as we build that culture, as we chase after Jesus and provide those opportunities.
Yeah. I think we all love the idea of slowing down, but it is scary, especially if we don't do it very often, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. And I love what you said about that, creating space to hear God's voice, because I think that is an essential element of Jesus as our good shepherd. Like we were joking about a video the other day where different people walked up to a flock of sheep and tried to call them in their own voice, and none of them budged. Like nobody balked. The sheep just stayed
kept
stuck.
doing what they were doing.
Kept doing what they were doing, right? But their relationship with their shepherd was so deep and so connected that it was almost like this muscle memory that just kicked in, and they heard his voice, and slowly but surely, one by one. And so I think it's like wherever people find themselves in life, there's a song by Matt Redman called "Your Grace Finds Me," and it's like even on the wedding day, even in the weeping by the graveside, even in the everyday and the mundane, your grace finds me. And I think that's how we help people to learn to hear the voice of the Good Shepherd. Is there's a bunch of sheep all together in different places, and the shepherd knows the needs of each individual one. And that's part of how we learn and grow from each other too. So I think that imagery is just, we could talk a long time about the significance of that. And I'm excited to see how God continues to bring people into the fold.
I agree.